Hello and welcome to Ways to Work, Project Iowa's new podcast, episode 3. We are here to connect with you, talk about Project Iowa, and provide you with timely insight about finding purpose and stability at work. I'm Chris Noth, YouthWorks Director, and today I am being interviewed by my coworker and co-host, Jamie Loggins-Evans, Director of Communications and Marketing. I'm looking forward to sharing more about YouthWorks program with all of you.
So happy to be here today and be given the opportunity to interview you about the YouthWorks program. Chris and I met, probably 3 years ago now, 3.5 years ago now, and I was actually working as a consultant for Project Iowa. And Julie, our ED, I remember saying, you need to meet with Chris. He's bringing a youth program to Iowa. And I was kind of like, oh, okay. You know, you just do it, follow Julie's lead, right?
An idea came from Julie,
yeah,
so
let's do it.
Yeah.
So met with Chris, worked with him on a press release, and that kind of just was the start of our relationship, working relationship. So it's just been a pleasure to work with Chris and really enjoyable to watch that growth over the last 3 years. So I'm excited to talk to you about all that today. So I just want to start at the beginning. Like, how did you end up at Project Iowa with this new program?
Yeah. I guess I could go back as far as you want, but basically I am a longtime educator and nonprofit person, born and raised in Des Moines, and then I went to Chicago and went to college there at DePaul and had an experience in classroom education, but ultimately found my way into working in nonprofits with older youth, teenagers. And that's when I first got acquainted with a program. It's called Urban Alliance, and it's all about recruiting and training high school seniors and employing them in corporate internships. So really opening doors for youth that would normally never have these doors opened for so many reasons. And really enjoyed that job. It was a lot of fun, and you could just see the growth that would happen from the beginning to the end with these students. So it was just a really enjoyable experience. Did that for a few years, moved on, found my way back there, and then ultimately found my way back to Des Moines. And, you know, after a couple years of being here, the wheels started turning, and I started thinking, well, why doesn't Des Moines have a program like that? And I'm like, well, maybe they do. And I researched it, and I looked around and talked to a bunch of people, and then I realized that it wasn't here. And so that's when I started taking some actions to bring that program here, which ultimately led me to Julie Figgenshoe and Project Iowa.
Awesome. So you say that there is no other program like YouthWorks here in Des Moines. So tell me, first of all, what is YouthWorks and how is it different? Why is it different? Because I know we have other youth internship programs, that type of thing, but what's different about it?
Absolutely. So it's a professional internship program for high school seniors, and it's different in a number of ways, predominantly in the program model and the duration of the program. So students come to us in August of their senior year. We train them for 6 weeks in the classroom, and then we send them to work. We mentor them and send them to a job that aligns with their interests and skills. And they're with us for the next 9 months. And so that we've got a lot of time with them. They have a lot of time with their companies, and all the students have that same experience. So it's standardized, and the length of that experience, and 500 hours at work, students earning roughly $7,000 as it stands right now. So it really just the size of the commitment on the student's part, on the part of the company, is really what makes it unique, and the amount of growth that can happen during that period of time.
The structure you have set up for the mentors, I think is just unique as well. So could you share a little bit more about that and why you think that's an important aspect of the program?
The mentor is a key role. That's the person that's working with the student 80% of the time once the program gets going, once they're trained, once the initial training is complete. And so this is a professional. This is sometimes someone with 10, 20, 30 years experience in the professional world. And so it's a mix of different generations, which is also cool. And so the mentor, they're there in the trenches with the student every day. They're assigning work, they're giving feedback, they're helping the student troubleshoot and overcome obstacles. They're noticing areas where the student can grow or improve and offering that feedback. So we support mentors with training up front, and then we go in 3 times throughout the year to the job site, meet with the mentor and the intern, and really talk about those things and make goals and really make sure the intern is in the driver's seat. And we ask them, well, what do you want to do in the next 3 months? What do you want to work on? Is there an area of the business that you want to get exposed to? Is there a skill that you want to develop? Is there some area you'd like to learn more about that'll set you up for success down the road? Things like that. So it puts the intern in the driver's seat, but the mentor is really a key piece of that puzzle.
Okay, so I'm going to stay on the mentor business side just a little bit, and then we'll circle back around to the students. But say I'm a business here in Des Moines, interested in learning more about the program, and tell me why I need an internship and why I should, an intern and why I should do this.
Yeah, great question. First off, people are busy, right? There's tons of work to get done. So immediately, if you can get someone in there who's a hard worker with a great attitude, who can be trained pretty quickly, they can immediately start taking work off your plate or off your colleagues' plates. So that's the most immediate answer. Longer term, it's about investing in our youth. It's about investing in our community. This is our future workforce. This is why this program connects with the Project Iowa mission and upholds it, because we have so many youth in our city who are graduating with a diploma, and within a year, they are disconnected from post-secondary pathways or a pathway to a living wage. And so this is a huge loss, not just for the students, but for our whole community, for our economy, for our local companies that are trying to recruit, and they're not finding enough talent locally. And we don't have enough people moving here, and we have people leaving. And so it's really, you can look out, you can zoom out and see the importance that way, or you can zoom in and see the impact that it makes for the student's life, but also for just that mentor, that department that benefits from this work. And down the road, that could be a new employee. That could be someone who spends decades working at that company, and it was a company that the intern had never heard about before, or maybe a job they had never even knew existed.
Right. And they may never have without the program, right?
Exactly.
You know? So I know that Federal Home Loan Bank here in Des Moines has been a partner of ours since the beginning.
Absolutely. Yeah. Wonderful partner.
Yeah. So share just a little bit about those internships.
Absolutely. I think in both cases, you have a lot of admin work that can get done right away. So students can get started on that with just a little orientation. We're talking about inventorying devices, making sure that software is updated, cataloging, that sorts of thing. On the accounting side, a lot of invoice processing, things of that nature. And in both departments, mentors are aware that we're going to start with the basics and we're going to build up from there. And so you have interns interested in IT. They want to learn more. They want to code. They want to build machines. They want to dig into the details. And so we have a wonderful mentor in IT who his level of expertise is such that he can kind of custom assign these bigger, more complex projects based on the student's interest. But oftentimes they also have direct company value as well. And so it's just awesome to see those two things line up like that.
Yeah. No, that's wonderful. So how did you get the program into Des Moines Public Schools? And, how have you grown that program at East?
Yeah, it was one meeting at a time, one email at a time over the course of a solid year or more. And being an educator background, I was able to bring my license to the state of Iowa and get it updated and renewed, which allowed me to get this to be a class in the district and get the kids academic credit for doing this. But really, I had no idea how to get into DMPS except just contacting people in teaching and learning and the curriculum. I met with the principal of East pretty early on, and then principals changed at East. So then I met with the new principal, but very supportive administration, both at East and at North. And really, it's a pretty flexible program where we can be nimble. We can fit into small spaces. You know, we can, we can do a lot with a little because we are a tiny team, and our work can often be done remotely or whatever. And so it makes it, I think, pretty easy to work with us.
That's great. So right now, you're recruiting juniors that are going to become seniors.
Correct.
And so that's some of the work. And then the other part is mentoring, you yourself mentoring all of the interns
right.
as well. And so tell us a little bit about the recruiting process, and then what you do to keep in touch with your current interns.
Sure. Recruiting starts, like you said, early junior year. And for most of junior year, we're communicating with the students, speaking in person with classes and doing one-on-one meetings, because it's really a personal decision.
Right.
And it's such a big commitment that we really do spend a lot of time with that one-on-one piece to help a student figure out, is this something that's a good fit for me or not? And so there's a lot of that. And I think putting in that intentional effort in the recruiting helps us to find students that are a good fit and where the benefit will go both ways. So recruiting of students happens most of the school year. Recruiting of businesses happens year round.
Sure.
We had a meeting this morning with a company downtown, went very well. And we're always talking to businesses, telling them who we are, what we're doing. And I think doing a little bit of myth busting as well, because a lot of people assume that high schoolers aren't really ready for these opportunities. Some companies are more familiar with college interns, things of that nature. And so a lot of it is just an education piece, how we support, how we can make it and help it be successful for students and companies with the support we provide.
Sure. And then also, with the internship, that's one piece. But I think sometimes that in the story, it gets missed that you're also helping them prepare for secondary or post-secondary plans.
Absolutely.
Whatever that looks like for each individual student.
Yeah. So they don't work on Fridays. Every Friday they come and see me or Tori at North, and we have those conversations. We work on professional skills. We check in about work, of course, but it's really a lot of it's future focused. That's the topic of tomorrow's class. My goals. Where am I going after high school? How do I find the answers to the questions I have? What are my next steps? And let's list them out and let's make a plan. So that's a really important piece of this. We know that these students' internships, in some cases, it's just a stop on their journey. They may not necessarily be there forever or return to it, but can they get the transferable skills and can they take that with them on their journey? So we absolutely work with the students very closely to make sure they have a plan for success after high school and get those applications done, cross all the T's, and figure out the financial side of it, the logistical side of it, and work with that plan. And you know that from working with your intern, getting her where she needed to go. So it's really a longer term process. It involves a lot of questions, guidance, and sometimes students don't have someone at home who's helping them on that journey, not because they're not interested in it, but because maybe they didn't go to college or didn't have that kind of career support. And so we just are an added support. We are one program among many, but the level of need is so high that I'm a big believer that we do need all these different options for students to find the one that they can best fit into. Yeah,
absolutely. I agree. And I have to share, like, as a mentor myself, I feel like I got as much out of the internship as my intern did, which was really rewarding. And I'm not sure I fully expected that But I'm looking forward to doing it again.
Yeah,
so
it's really a wonderful relationship. It's a unique relationship, and how often do people get that chance, right? In life, if you're a working professional and you've been in your career, you're far removed from high school. Maybe you have kids of your own, but it's not typical to see a team to be that diverse in terms of age all the time. So you might not have many people who are in their teens or early 20s or even mid 20s at a lot of companies. And so it's cool to see that relationship flourish. And with the supportive structure of the program, of course, there's going to be mistakes and miscues here and there, and it's okay. We want them to be brave enough to take the chance and get out their comfort zone. And we're going to support them, both the student or the intern and the mentor, when that stuff happens.
Right. And just to your point as well, I know that all of us at Project IO really appreciated the younger perspective.
Yeah.
That, we would pull into different conversations that we didn't always have, so that was a value add as well that I don't know if we were expecting.
And it's fun too. And I think I enjoy my job because working with teenagers is just fun. It keeps things interesting, and I think it keeps me feeling young as well.
Sure.
On most days.
Yeah, right. So, do you want to share a story about one of the interns or a mentor or some experience that you just really made a difference in your life and how you're doing this work?
Yeah, there's so many to pick from. I can think of, one intern last year, she was working in property management over at Newberry Living. And in this role, there's admin work, but then there's also client-facing work. So serving the tenants and creating parties and events and tenant engagement, resident engagement type of things. And the relationships and the interactions that the student has over there, and now it's going on 3 years, it's just really beautiful.
Yeah. So what do you think is one of the most important things that participants gain from this internship?
I think confidence and communication are two of the most noticeable. Absolutely. We're talking about 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds, and they might not be sure about what they want to do. They might not be sure about themselves. Their self-esteem might not always be there yet. The confidence, just walking into a room, meeting people, kind of being out there in the public eye, that can be unnerving for young people, for anyone, but especially for young people who probably the youngest in their office, or they're the only student. Maybe their gender or their race also set them apart. And so the confidence and communication, feeling good, being able to talk about yourself, being able to meet people, and feeling like, oh, I'm a part of the team now. I'm not just an intern here. I think that's the thing I notice the most. And when you think about, Jamie, having those things in place, the other things you can do when you have those things kind of set, that relates to post-secondary planning and goal setting and your vision for yourself and what you're able to do. And so it just kind of opens the floodgates.
Absolutely. It's just that we all know that everybody just needs one opportunity and one person outside the family unit to care.
Yeah.
And the difference that will make.
Absolutely. Two things that come to mind when you say that. They say that talent is distributed equally, but opportunity is not. So that's the first one. And the second one is just the number of kids that are growing up without a mentor at all.
Right.
And so they don't have anyone who's outside the house who is supporting them, guiding them, spending time, taking an interest in them. And that's just a huge, huge piece of this.
Yeah, that's what I love. I love this program for that reason. There's so many reasons that this program is strong and needs to be in every school district, but but that's one of the pieces that and isn't always obvious.
I'm excited to keep spreading the word about it. People see this and they intuitively understand the value. So when they see how it works, it kind of sells itself in a lot of ways. And it's really meaningful, and I really I feel very lucky that I get to connect students, interns with these companies, these mentors, because we have a lot of divisions in our society. We have a lot of separation, and a lot of that is around information. And the information about these opportunities, these companies, these internships, it doesn't, either there's not enough of those opportunities, and the ones that do exist, the word doesn't get to the people who need to hear it the most. And so we get to break down some of those barriers in this program.
Right.
And we get to help the city of Des Moines and the surrounding area to strengthen its companies and increase the connection between our public school youth, who we're all investing in, and we're going to help them to kind of be the next leaders of our city, of our state. And so it's just really cool that we get to play a part in that.
Absolutely, yeah. Before we wrap up, I do want to talk just a little bit about our other partners. We have the businesses and the mentors, but then I'm thinking about Dress for Success. Do you want to share a little bit about how we use different partners around Des Moines to help with the program?
That's another fun part of the job, is working with other professionals that are serving people in the community. Dress for Success, they suit up all of our female interns to get them ready for interviews. We have a couple events throughout the program where we ask students to kind of dress to the nines, and they do it thanks to Dress for Success. Men on the Move at Evelyn K. Davis is another one. Robert over there, just fantastic. They're always getting new stuff in. You can come in as often as you want with the youth, and it's not like it's a hassle or any paperwork. It's just the customer service and really just the whole experience to get youth clothing that they're confident in, and they can go to that interview. We just went in. There was a student who joined to start second semester, and he had an interview at Allers and Cooney Law Firm. We took him to Men on the Move first, got him suited up, and sent him over there, and boom. I mean, so it's just, you can't do it without the partners, and it's great to be able to work with them to do this stuff, because we don't have a large budget. We can't do it all ourselves.
Yeah, I love that we're able to partner. We're so grateful for their support of our interns. So, how do people get a hold of you if they want to have an intern next year?
Absolutely. Phone, email, U.S. mail, whatever works. We're always having those conversations. We're come and see us at Franklin Junior High. Come and see me at East. Come and see Tori at North. We're always talking to folks, spreading the word. Yeah. I think if we're doing our job right, we're making this process easy for companies. We're making this process easy for people to get involved, and to try it. And I think if folks are not sure, they can talk to our current partners who've been happy with how it's been going. And there's all kinds of things we can do to customize this for a company if they're curious about it.
Great. Wonderful. Well, I'm excited for you and I to be able to maybe bring some interns on the podcast, and maybe we'll bring on some of the ones that are now in college or working, and bring them on and talk about their experiences. So I look forward to doing that.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Stay inspired and keep striving for purpose and stability in your work.